Hey guys, Thomas the Jr. here, aka Mustache Time, and I am really sorry for the super delay in videos. I am here to talk about the Gallows, and I'm gonna start a new series of rants because this movie promised to be the next Freddy and Jason, and boy, whoever marketed that was a piece of shit liar. Oh my god. Was the Gallows not only boring, it was sort of really confusing too. And, just when I thought horror movies weren't gonna get any worse, they get something like The Gallows. And that's just so wrong. We were supposed to get out of this situation, and we dug deeper in with the same people who made Paranormal Activity, and they slapped that shit on there like, hey, look, it was these guys. Remember them? The guys who took forever of one movie to have like one entire big jump scare. Remember those guys? Yeah. Let's make them have this Gallows movie, have two people recording it, like one of those things that, you know, that was made popular because of movies like Cloverfield, like the camcorder type recording, and let's make a movie out of that in a school, whatever. It's gonna be super scary, guys. And the end result was every predictable jump scare, just, you could just sense it coming. And you would think that with the way that they operated this, with the whole camcorder switching thing, that maybe there might be a surprise element to it. But in the end, that's what actually made this movie even more predictable. Because when it jumped to the other person, you knew that person was screwed because you heard them screaming from the previous recording or the other person. So when it went to that person, you knew what was going to happen to them. You knew what to expect. Anyways, we have these one dimensional characters. We have this stupid jock guy who's a douchebag to everyone, including his girlfriend in this movie, and his best friend who has acting duties or whatever, and he's also having to do acting duties because I guess they're like, I don't know, failing or whatever. So, anyways, they're this guy's a douche to everyone. He's the main character. We have to follow this douchebag around, and they go to the school at night. The three of them to try to stop this whole thing from happening. They're trying to cut down the play so this douchebag's bad actor friend can hook up with some other girl who's the main actress in the play. So they get in there from this back door that was unlocked. Uh, and he's recording stuff, and predictable movements are going on and stuff like that. And then they bump into the main actress, and whatever her name is, I think it's Pfeiffer or Pfeiffer or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, she's there, and they ask her why she's there, and she never gives an answer, which is an immediate red flag. And it's so predictable where this movie was gonna go, except, well, it kind of actually wasn't, but I mean, it was still stupid. But I'll get to that momentarily. At any rate, we see that the Gallows man decides to take out the actor guy, the bad actor guy. He's calling out Charlie for some godforsaken reason, and that's the Gallows man name. He's Charlie, I guess. He's calling him out, and apparently that makes him stronger or something. So they pull him down. He pulls him down. He throws him in this other room. He gallows him up, I guess, and he's dead. Who cares? He wasn't really much of a character, and it's funny that he would be the first one to die. I mean, I would assume that it would have been the girl, but I guess it really doesn't matter what order they die in because guess what? 3 out of the 4 characters die in this movie, and that I don't even really care for spoilers. I mean, it's been a while, so like a bit of a month. It was almost pretty much went by. So yeah, I don't really care. But for spoilers, I mean, this movie isn't really all that great. Too predictable, bad characters, everything you can think of that's bad with movie making is here in this movie. And so the girl splits up from the other two and then she gets hung or whatever. It doesn't matter. She was pretty much this cheerleader girl who was one dimensional, and as soon as the scare started happening, she just became a crybaby that did absolutely nothing except cry. That was her only job in this entire movie, pretty much, until she gets gallowed away. Um, then it's just the guy and the the main actress. The only two left. Uh, and then they go through all this bullshit, blah blah blah. They see TV at one point, but I'm sure at that point they're all alive. But anyways, um, it's just these two. They get in there at the top of the theater place. They see the body, and they scream, and then they hear like the thing go off, the sirens that they decided to pull off to get the cops' attention somehow. Um, and we see that the Gallows man is doing stuff like moving stuff that potentially has for the means for their escape, like the phone and the this bench that the guy saw, and he ran away from because he had the phone like an idiot, and he left it, and then it teleported into the locker machine, the locker, because I guess the Gallows man can touch physical objects, I guess. And then when it's just these two, they're running together. They manage to get downstairs. They're running. They see that the door is open, and the main character runs through. But when he looks back, he notices that the girl is gone. And here's the thing that just I don't know why they did this, but this guy who said throughout this entire beginning portion of the movie that this girl is so ugly and blah 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 and all this means shit, and all of a sudden, through the means of just being scared throughout the movie, he suddenly decides that this girl is gonna be his new lover, I guess. Like, what? That is the payoff for this movie, is now suddenly he likes her. For some forsaken reason, he decides to go back inside, and then he gets possessed. She gets double possessed, and I'll explain that in a bit. Um, to do the final part of the play, and then they do the thing, and the guy commits suicide technically, and then the girl leaves, I guess. And then there's clapping, and then there's this woman who's apparently her mom, who is apparently there the entire time somehow and wasn't noticed somehow. And I guess she's also a physical form, I think. I don't really know. At any rate, the cops finally come, but they arrive at the girl's house for some reason. It's not really ever explained why the cops would show up there and not at the school, but I digress. The cops go in. One of them enters the room that the girl is now sitting at, and her mom, and they're watching the video. And apparently, these two were connected to the Gallows man. Uh, the mom and the Gallows man, I guess, hooked up at some point. And produced this child who is, I guess, also possessed, and then they double possess her at the theater. Um, and this is where I guess I'm most conflicted about this movie is the ending. It's just what the hell is going on? And they break this whole thing of, I guess they tried to say earlier in the movie that the Gallows man only affects the school, but then you see him kill one of the cops outside, and then the cop inside's looking, and then he says Charlie, and then he looks the other way, and there he is. Um, and like, here's the thing, like, I'm so confused. Like, what what was the point of bringing the main character back inside if he could have gone outside the school? I guess I don't really know. Again, the rules in this very first movie are very confusing. Does he only possess the school and his house? And why is he even doing this? I mean, think about it. He has a wife and a kid, and what happened? What it sounds like seems like a mistake. Like the reason why he's doing this was from a mistake. A mistake. Are you kidding me? A mistake. Um, Here's the thing. You remember Jason? You wanted to compare your movie to Jason and Freddy, right? Remember Jason? That wasn't a mistake. He was left to drown, and the people that were responsible just sat there watching him. That wasn't a mistake. Freddy? That wasn't a mistake. Even the other bad horror guys that are also dealing with comedy too, like Leprechaun, that's not a mistake. In this movie, you're telling me that the reason why this guy wants revenge is from a simple mistake, as in he had to do an understudy from the bad actor's father. That's the reason why he decided to kill all three of these people. He doesn't even know the other two. I don't think he does, unless their parents are also involved in the play. I think. Um, Again, why is he wanting revenge from a mistake? That seems like the most underthought of horror things. Like, why would you base it off of a mistake like this? And he seemed, from again, just from having a wife and having a kid, like you would assume like this guy would have went out happy, I think. And this movie says, nah, he's angry for some mysterious reason, and his rules of moving around are really unspecified. Um, he has a rope that's invisible, and then it's visible, and sometimes he's visible, even though he's a ghost. I think. Again, the rules of this very movie in itself are very confusing, and the acting is just terrible, and the characters are just terrible, and this guy is just terrible. The entire movie is just terrible. It is not worth your time if you've not seen it already. So, with that being said, I do have to give this a technical score, so it's a 2 out of 10. So, this has been Thomas Cecilio Jr., aka Mustache Tom, and I'll see you guys next time.